But what is she doing for him in the relationship? Was a question that was brought up in our latest episode of Drop the Stones, a mini episode that came out today. You should check it out. There's some good stuff in there. And in the episode, Candy posed the question of what things that we learned later on in our relationship that work and benefit us would I have wished to have known when we first were in a relationship and would have benefited us, and how would that have changed everything? And the one thing that popped in my mind was these roles that were assigned and delegated to do in our relationship, kind of told that man do this, woman do that. And it brought up this idea of this video that I had sent to her a while back about this woman talking about, just a comedic little version of what dinners were like when her husband cooked dinner and what she cooked dinner. And it was just basically showing that her husband does most of the dinner prep in their household. And the comments in there, a lot of them were from these guys saying, well, what is she, if he's doing all this extra stuff, taking up her responsibilities, what is she doing for the relationship? And it just shows the narrow-sightedness, the just painstakingly ignorant view that these are only roles women do and these are only roles men do in life and in relationships, and how detrimental it is to actual relationship. Because what Candy and I realized after we got out of our Christian mindset and out of this idea of having to force ourselves into roles, we started figuring out that if we worked together and found out what worked best for us, it was more efficient. An illustration we all heard one time we use a lot is spoons. If everyone's given 10 spoons worth of energy every day, and if it took Candy 5 spoons of energy to make dinner at night, but it only took me 2, it's more efficient for a relationship for me to do dinner because it doesn't drain me as much. It doesn't take as much out of me. It's not an extra burden upon me and all this other stuff to drain. And there's certain things in our life that just drain us more than it would other people in our life. So when we figured out this and we're able to delegate responsibility on what doesn't drain us more and gives us more energy at the end of the day, the end of the week, the end of the month to do what we wanted to for our relationship. And we're talking and just wishing that in our marriage counseling we were told this instead of the assumption that we already knew the gender roles. And then the question I remember that the pastor asked us was, Candy, what are you going to do if Dan doesn't unfold his socks? He keeps them inside out when he puts them in the hamper. And that was the basis of our marriage counseling, was these roles that were already assembled in how is she going to do with minor annoyances and how is I going to do with minor annoyances, instead of actually dealing with, approach this equally, see what's best for you, what's going to drain you more, who would be able to perform this more efficiently and just be able to do it more often and not drain the relationship, and see what could benefit. If we would have learned that early on, I can only imagine where we would be today, because it's a valuable lesson to learn. And it's something that this religious mindset of roles and forcing people into things just destroys, because it takes away so much from the potential of what could be there.